Good morning and welcome to Windsor, Ontario for the OCAA Men's Volleyball Championships. I'm Sean Luppert. I'm here with our analysts, Chris Brecka, Steve Gomes. Wow, what a great tournament we're having. As you're sitting around your breakfast table, having your morning coffee, you get to watch volleyball just like this. Last night we were here really late, probably until about 11:30 p.m. because we watched probably what was the upset of the tournament where the St. Clair Saints knocked out Humber. Great game last night.
What a game, pleasure to call. You see guys filling in. For Dave Binder there, one of the big injuries for St. Clair, question mark for the weekend, and Coach Lynch dialed up to his bench between Manick and Curtis Locke. What a job well done for the Saints.
Chris, last night you have a blast. I mean, you're a coach here.
Absolutely.
You gotta have loved it.
Yeah, the energy in here was fantastic. And like Steve said, the subs came in and they did the job. I mean, it's an opportunity for them to show that they have what it takes to play at this level, and they certainly did.
All right, let's talk about what we got lined up for today. We got all kinds of stuff. What we have here is at 1:30, we're gonna have, 1:30, how about 9 a.m.? As you can tell, we were here really late last night. So our first game is gonna be Fanshawe and Sheridan. Let's hear a little bit about Fanshawe. What do we have to expect?
Well, Fanshawe has got a rookie setter, Daly, out of North Bay. He's going to really look to spread the ball around. He's got his big left side, fifth-year senior, Dimitri Kansos. He's really got to get going, otherwise Fanshawe is going to be dead in the water. Look to see the middle attack from Derek Braun really seem to get the Falcons sparked up this weekend. Aside from that, we got Mike Burkett, big 6'7", lefty off the bench. Let's see if he can get it done and lead the Falcons to a victory to play in the bronze medal game, Sean.
What do we got from the other side?
Well, Sheridan was up and down yesterday with their two setters, Ricky Brower and Justin Kong, but Ricky's got the hands today. He does a good job of distributing his offense, but he's got some big guns out there with Josh Butler and Jeremy Fanton, and they've got a strong middle too with Bobby Domi. So I think they're going to run some pretty exciting things, and hopefully they can keep the ball off the floor and get that going.
Definitely lots of volleyball. If you haven't been watching it, there's been a ton of upsets. I mean, yesterday we had games where Mohawk took off of Fleming 3-1. Also, they had the Sheridan-Durham game, and Sheridan with Durham, that went 3-2. That was a nail-biter. That was a great game.
Strong showing from the West teams here this weekend, as they're all the teams in for medals.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, talking a little bit about the medal games tonight, we're going to have Niagara and St. Clair are going to be playing each other, but then the get to the bronze medal game, there's going to have to be a backdoor sort of thing, as they say, that come in the back way. The winners of these games are going to play the losers from last night.
Yeah, the bronze medal matchup isn't really the losers from the semifinal game. It's a double elimination on the backside of the bracket, giving all the teams a chance to play even if they lose Friday night.
You know what? Let's talk about seeding here. Seeding here has been up and down. I mean, we were trying to figure it out this morning. So the East teams are out. It's an all-West game here. We're going to have an amazing time with volleyball. Stick around here at we-tv.ca. We're going to go to commercial, and then we're going to throw it over to the desk where Neil McTavish and Dave Austin will be calling your games.
Imagine a place to climb, to tumble, to fly, to run, to glide, to achieve, where a sense of health, friendly competition, and growth all come together. Can you imagine that place, that destination? We have, and we're building it right now in Windsor, with a planned development of almost 200,000 square feet of athletic playground, and that's just on the inside. Central Park Athletics, some of it's already here, the rest is coming soon. Imagine that.
It's not just about hockey. It's about getting your great education too. Academics are equally, if not more important, than athletics. The Hockey Canada Skills Academy is a great opportunity for any student athlete to live their dream and chase their passion. It gives them an opportunity to get a workout in the morning, they're physically and mentally engaged, and it helps them as a student as well throughout the day. Our program is not just for the elite athletes, it's for everyone.
Well, welcome everybody to the beautiful St. Clair College Sportsplex once again early on this Sunday morning. I'm here, Dave Austin here with my crack color commentator, Neil McTavish. Neil, it's good to have you back and working with me again. Good morning.
Well, Dave, I had to dig out of the snow down in Kingsville this morning and make my way up to Windsor, but I wouldn't miss these games today. All of them should be great action. I think we're going to have some fun broadcasting, and we look forward to some stellar play.
Yes, welcome to anyone who may have clicked on we-tv.ca this morning from the Oakville region and from the London region in particular. We have the Sheridan Bruins out of Oakville playing against the Fanshawe Falcons out of London this morning, and these two teams are vying for one of the spots in our bronze medal match this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
You know, Dave, when you look at what separated them during the regular season, what we have the Falcons third in the West with 12-6 record, Sheridan sixth with 11-7 record. So although there was difference in the positioning, their records weren't that much different.
No, and they've taken two very different routes to get to this game. Sheridan lost on the first day of the tournament, Neil, and kind of come in what's called the backdoor method of getting back into the bronze hunt by defeating the Durham Lords yesterday in a very exciting 5-set match. Fanshawe, the more traditional route to get here, they won their first match on Friday, but then they lost a heartbreaking semifinal match last night to the Niagara Knights, in which I thought was one of the best defensive displays that we've seen here in the tournament so far. Right out of the gate, Sheridan goes to their big left side hitter, number 4. That's Josh Butler, and he always gets his money's worth, Neil, every time he gets set.
Well, just looking, he had 160 kills during the regular season. That's pretty spectacular. And
back to him again. This time it's dug up by the Falcons. Significant lineup change for the Falcons this morning. Their regular center, Jack Daly, is not playing. Coach Patrick Johnson, has decided to go with a taller lineup. Number 16, Mark Mumer, who normally plays middle for the Falcons, is setting this morning. And they've gone with the tall 6'7" Mike Burkett out of Toronto, Ontario, as their starting middle.
yeah, he just had a nice smash a few seconds ago.
Kyle Weber, the Falcons captain, back to serve. Short float serve, handled by the Bruins. Burkett with the set. And Dimitri Kansos, number 13, he's had a good tournament so far. Very heavy ball that he hits, hard to handle.
It was almost looking like they were trying to duck. It was coming down so hard on the other side.
So it's 2-1 Fanshawe. We'll talk a little bit about the two different routes, Neil, that these teams came to get here. My concern for the Fanshawe Falcons this morning is how quickly can they turn it around emotionally after losing last evening in a long semifinal match that lasted till almost 8:30 in the evening. They go back to their hotel, turn it around, and come out first match this morning and have to try to get themselves in a competitive mode to qualify for this bronze game tonight.
Well, I think the next few minutes might tell the story. Chris Adams just came up with a nice block for the Bruins.
Hard serve by Josh Butler, handled easily by the Falcons, and Dimitri Kansos with the kill down the line. 3-2 Fanshawe Falcons. Again, welcome to anyone from London or Oakville who is tuned in to we-tv.ca this morning. We hope that you're enjoying the action with your morning breakfast.
Based on the weather, both of those cities should just stay in their house. You got some snow coming, and follow Dave and I throughout the day.
Yeah, we got a little dusting overnight.
Oh, in Windsor. Go south, young man.
A little more snow in Kingsville this morning, Neil. 4-2 Falcons. There's the other go-to guy. He was actually player of the match yesterday for the Bruins. Number 11, that's Jeremy Fanton.
6'4" out of Mississauga.
That goes long. But it's called a touch by the officials. Fanton scores again. We're back to 4-4. Jeremy's got to have a sore shoulder this morning, Neil. We figure he swung at about 50, 60 times in that match yesterday. It was a marathon. It went 5 sets. Back row attack.
These are
Kelly
young
Farrell.
people. Oh, there's a double.
You're all over that, Neil.
But you know how I feel about setters, Dave.
Ricky Brar mishandling that set attempt. 5-4. As Kelly Farrow, the first-year player out of Terra, Ontario, is back to serve for the Falcons. Inside shoot to the middle hitter, Bobby Dami. He follows up that hit attempt with a nice block. And we're knotted at 5. Number 14, Derek Fanton, younger brother of Jeremy, back to serve. Quick reactions there, Neil.
Cat-like reflexes, Dave. He's about
As
to
that
take
ball's
the
off
monitor
the
up.
block and right here into our broadcast booth. Dimitri Kansos to serve. Handled easily by Christian Dela Cruz, the libero, and the Bruins convert on this step around.
Bobby Dami got a nice put down there.
They ran that play the way you should, quickly,
Yep.
Neil.
Yep. Came off the back of the setter. Quick little shoot, put it down.
Derek Braun makes the nice pass, and he's rewarded with the return set from Mark Mumer. Big number 8, who is the second-team All-Star in the Western Conference for the Falcons this year, converts, and we're in a nip and tuck first set, 7-6, the Fanshawe Falcons over the Sheridan Bruins. That's long. Bobby Dami looking for the touch call from the officials, doesn't get it.
Call.
I think that was more of a plead rather than a request.
I was looking over at Kevin Crow, the linesman, and he went straight to his flag. He didn't call a touch at all on that one.
Kevin, fine volleyball player in the senior ranks here in the city, out this morning again, working as a lines official.
His daughter plays for the Lady Saints.
Yes. And there's Josh Butler. I don't care what he paid to get in here today, Neil. He's gotten his money's worth already. 3 hard hits to start the match. Plays with a lot of enthusiasm. 6'4", fourth-year player out of London, Ontario. So playing against the Falcons, he may have a little extra incentive this morning, Neil.
Yep.
Nice quick middle. Excellent set choice by setter Ricky Brar. And number 10, Chris Adams, the second-year player out of Caledon, Ontario, makes no mistake. We're knotted at 8.
Right now, they're playing pretty close, Dave. Both teams, they really want it. Quick sets.
There we go. Setter Mark Mumer utilizing that extra height that's available to him this morning. Mike Burkett, 6'7", with the middle hit. And we're into a side-out game right now, Neil.
That's what I was observing. There's not much difference. It's basically bump set, smack it.
net violation against the Falcons. Well, the Bruins played 3 or 4 of these types of sets yesterday in that marathon match they had with the Durham Lords. I think, in fact, the 4th set of that match went to a 32-30 score before it was settled in the 5th, the Bruins prevailing over the Lords and qualifying for this morning match here at the St. Clair College Sportsplex. Good rally going here. Ricky Brar with the set, and the Falcons were all over that. They were keying on Josh Butler.
Both teams seem to be playing with a lot of adrenaline right now. We'll see if that overnight, and especially that 6 o'clock match that Fanshawe had yesterday, see if it takes any toll on them.
Well, these teams are at the top level of volleyball, Neil, and you have to believe that conditioning is a large part of their training routine in both programs, and these are the types of weekends where that conditioning pays off.
Some nice combinations out here.
Number 13, Dimitri Kanchos, he hits such a heavy ball, so hard to handle, off the block and out. He's gotten off to a good start in this match, Neil. He's played well the whole tournament.
You know, Dave, sometimes when we do these matches, we see missed serves and sort of fanning on hits as the nerves play, but these two teams have come out to play. They're putting as much into it as they can right now.
Well, the bronze medal.
There's your man again.
Josh Butler.
Josh Butler.
The bronze medal would be coveted by both of these teams at this stage. The Falcons, Fanshawe Falcons, are defending bronze medalists from last year, Neil. I think they in particular would love to go back to London with a second consecutive medal at these championships. The Bruins have a little bit different motivation. They haven't medaled here in the OCAA championships since 1994, so there's been a long drought for that institution. So we'll see this morning, but it certainly started off as a very even match. Mike Burkett using that height. Great shot to the corner, to the one position on the floor. And it's 12-10 Falcons, but we haven't had anything more than a 2-point lead so far this morning, Neil.
And I have a feeling we're not going to see much more of that in this game anyways. Somebody, they're going for everything, picking up.
That's out. Jeremy Fanton. Timeout called by the Sheridan coach, Dave McAllister, in his 5th year. And we want to remind you, you're watching OCAA Volleyball on WeTV.
New products or services to your brochure? Updating those drab business cards? Or looking to create a striking window display? In need of some screen-printed signs for that construction site or promotional campaign? Posters, vehicle wraps, and a whole lot more. At Angel Star Digital, our expert design and production team are ready to meet all your promotional needs. For samples of our work, check out our website at www.angelstardigital.com, or you can call us at 519-969-0712. That's 519-969-0712.
Well, Neil, Coach Dave McAllister of the Sheridan Bruins wasted no time using his first timeout as soon as that deficit got to 3 points.
Yeah, in this game, I don't think you can, because it's gone back and forth like it has to start, looking at 3 points, that's a considerable lead, although in some terms you can get that back in a few seconds, but the way these two teams are playing, you want to keep it very close. You don't want anybody to run out in front.
I'm sure he gave his team a little bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah, probably about 5 o'clock this morning.
In that first huddle. Mike Burkett, 6'7" middle blocker on the Toronto, serves for the Falcons. And the Bruins do exactly what they're supposed to do, and they come out of a timeout. Great pass, good choice on the set by Ricky Brar, and he goes to his money player, Jeremy Fanton. Kind of a low set there by the Falcons. Free ball given to the Bruins. Out to Fenton again. That's blocked. Josh Butler with the pickup in the back row. Blocked again by the Falcons. And obviously they are anticipating that the Bruins go to Mr. Fenton, Jeremy Fenton, often.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before the broadcast today. If you know that one person is going to be set frequently, do you just key on that man, put doubles up against him, or do you watch the whole play? I would think coaches are talking, keep an eye on him, follow him, be ready.
Jeremy's younger brother, Derek Fenton, ends outrun by the Falcons with a roll shot. Coach McAllister was out there a little bit animated speaking to the officials a couple points ago. I don't know if he was asking them where they're going for lunch today, but
Now, we could give them some recommendations, some local spots, Dave.
well, here come the Bruins back, Neil. Big block, and it's now 14-13 Fanshawe. The lead has been reduced to 1 point. Number 12, Scott Wiseman, first-year player out of Sudbury, Ontario, back to serve for the Bruins. And he makes the great dig out of the 5 position. And Josh Butler uses the block from the right side. We're knotted again at 14, and the timeout by Coach McAllister works.
It's pretty hard with that shot. If you're going to block it, how do you keep it in bounds? He hits it so hard and comes from such an angle.
Great defense being played over there in that 5 spot by number 10, Chris Adams of the Bruins, but the Falcons respond with a block of their own. Dimitri Kanchos to serve. Hard topspin serve, handled by Jeremy Fenton. Interesting tip there by Kyle Weber. Out to him again, he tips, and it's good. Now, he's been quiet so far this morning, Neil, but he's the captain of this team, and good to see him get on track for the Falcons.
Well, that was a smart play. He took a look at the other side of the court, saw that little opening there behind the right side, and just dropped it over his head for the point.
Derek Braun, Mark Mumer putting up a big block over there on the right side against Jeremy Fenton, and he's going to have to figure that out. They're consistently getting a good piece of his hits.
Hard serve there.
Great pass by the libero. Christian Dela Cruz, though, passed it right on a dime. Mark Mumer with the setter attempt at the dump. Doesn't work. And I'll tell you, that young Mark Mumer, third-year player out of London, looks totally comfortable in the setter's role this morning, Neil.
Yeah, he hasn't had any problems.
We are watching OCAA volleyball on we-tv.ca.
Manpower. That's our specialty. We use it to build infrastructure, like the $1 billion Parkway. That's real manpower in action. End to end, over 1,000 strong, forming bridges, carving out tunnels, shaping roadways. Our manpower is in demand. Well-trained, highly skilled, tough as nails. We've got what it takes to build your career. A solid career for building a better future. LiUNA. Feel the power.
Hi, I'm Ed Jovanovski. Watch us on WeTV. We got you covered.
Well, Neil, Coach Dave McAllister of the Sheridan Bruins, I guess you could say he's a banker's worst enemy. He doesn't believe in saving, does he? He's called his second time out already.
Yeah, I was always went with the philosophy of if you're winning, don't call a timeout. But there must have been something that he saw that he wanted to correct, make sure that Fanshawe doesn't creep back into this game.
Well, Fanshawe is actually leading, Neil, by 4.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes.
So he's not saving his timeouts. He's not going to wait. Not going to wait and let him sit in his pocket. He's trying to stem the flow right now. Well, again. But it was blocked out.
I guess I was so enthralled with the play, and when I'm looking up at the scoreboard and they got the scores on opposite sides of the real score.
Neil, it's early. You drove in from Kingsville this morning. You're fully within your rights. And the free point there, that's a steal by the Bruins. Good tough serve by Jeremy Fenton. and it's 18-16 Fanshawe as the match tightens up again. That ball is in.
Little discussion on the sidelines by the players.
Reversed by the head official.
Ooh.
He calls it out, and Sheridan retains possession with another point. It's a large outcry from the Sheridan bench when that call was originally made.
That was an interesting call. I mean, you and I are sitting pretty close to the court, and both of us have a little knowledge of volleyball, and it's interesting that he overruled her.
Play happens quickly at this level.
Sure does.
Pipe shot up the middle attempt does not work, but Kelly Farrell sends a laser long from the right side, and Sheridan creeps back to within 1 point.
It's probably because of my earlier foreshadowing that
There you go.
game has gotten close again.
You were just 5 minutes ahead of us all, Neil. We
Yes.
didn't realize it. Number 9, Justin Kong, second string setter for the Sheridan Bruins, checks in to serve. Kyle Weber off the block.
Oh,
Good
great
defensive
play.
effort by the Bruins. Number 12, Scott Wiseman. But as any good team does, when you have the other team scrambling, the Falcons quickly set it up for the quick middle hit, and there's no answer.
That's Mike Burketta hitting at him again. He's
Yeah,
really-
I'm very much impressed by a young Mark Mumer, who's moved from the middle position to the center position today. We always joke how middle hitters want to be centers. Well, it's happening right here for the Fanshawe Falcons this morning, and Mark Mumer's made some excellent choices this morning so far.
It's been an intelligently played game.
He also gives them a little more height at that position and blocking ability over there on the right side. Being a middle blocker, he's no stranger to setting up the block. Well, that's a dirty ball right there. Just as we give him all the plaudits in the world, he mishandles his next attempt.
But it's 20-20.
So we have a 5-point game now. First to 25 or win by 2. Ricky Brar back to serve for the Bruins. He gets an overpass, but
you saw that coming.
Josh Butler's got to be beside himself after that. He had a free overpass from the Falcons. He gave the gift right back to them, and Mike Burkett makes no mistake with the soft tip.
I think I saw "hit me" written on that ball when it came over the net.
But to Burkett's credit, he didn't try to overhit it, did he?
No, he just put it down. Didn't give it back to them so that they can make a play.
That's off the tape and out. No touch on the Bruins blockers. And Dimitri Kansos makes a rare hitting mistake. He hasn't made many in this tournament. 21-21, number 4, Josh Butler back to serve for the Sheridan Bruins. Critical point of the game now. Nice back
Great
set.
block. Double block on the left side.
Kelly Farrell swings hard, but he's rejected, and first time out by Coach Patrick Johnson of the Falcons.
Are we seeing some of that fatigue or problems that you suggested with Fanshawe just playing late last night? Is it coming into play at the end of this first game here?
Could very well be. Coach Johnson uses he's in his second year coaching the Fanshawe Falcons, former player at the University of Western Ontario, has a very calm presence on the sideline. As you can see, as you look at the Fanshawe huddle and the Sheridan players warming up at the end of the court, as they traditionally do during timeouts. We hope we get a big crowd building here at the St. Clair College Sportsplex today as these matches go on. This match here is being followed at 11 o'clock by another bronze medal qualifying semifinal between two great programs, the Mohawk Mountaineers and the Humber Hawks, who actually came into this tournament first and second in the Western Conference, but now they're the highest sights that they can set at this point is bronze medal. So we'll see them here on WeTV right after this match is over. But we could be here for a while yet. We're in the first set. It's 22-21. tight match right from the beginning between these Sheridan Bruins and the Fanshawe Falcons. Canso's smart hit wipes it off the block of number 14, Derek Fanton, and we're knotted immediately at 22-22.
Yeah, Chris Adams was up on that block too, and it was like a field goal in football. Just went off a hand in between, off the post, Dave, out of bounds. It's like watching the Detroit Lions.
That in volleyball jargon is called a wipe, and Canso demonstrated how to wipe the ball off the block there. Jeremy Fanton with a big hit picked up by Kyle Weber. Fanshawe Falcons playing defense well. And again, up with the block. Up the middle, big Derek Braun makes no mistake. Excellent choice again by the setter, Mark Mumer, who's been thrust into the role this morning after playing middle almost the whole season for the Falcons. Substitute server in, Ryan Daly. Jack Daly is the normal setter for the Falcons, and this is his brother Ryan. So that's dirty hands right there.
Yes. You can see that coming.
Ricky Brar trying to do too much with that pass, and here we have the Falcons at set point, leading 24-22.
Yeah, the pass was low. He had trouble getting it out to his power.
Good serve by Ryan Daly. Kyle Weber playing really good defense in the back row now. That ball is out. Maybe a little too much adrenaline there for Dimitri Cansos. He overhit that a bit. Kyle Weber showing some captain leadership for the Falcons defensively. He's really picked up his defense in the last couple of sequences in the back row for Fanshawe. Timeout called by Fanshawe, almost called too late. So you're watching OCAA volleyball on WeTV.
1 out of 7 children across Canada are at risk of going to school on an empty stomach. That's why Breakfast Club of Canada provides a healthy breakfast to school kids nationwide every day, which can help to build a bright future for Canada's children. But there are still many more children who need our help. So please help us provide breakfast to the children who need it. Donate now on our new giving platform, ICanGoWithout.com, and visit breakfastclubcanada.org for more information.
Well, here we are back at St. Clair College, and the final day of action in the 2015 OCAA Men's Volleyball Championships. And on this final day, the quality of the volleyball is picked up right where it left off yesterday, Neil.
I came in early this morning, Dave, and some things that I did hear people talking about is how they've enjoyed this complex here and the great volleyball that's been going on for the last 2 days.
It really has been a great event, and the college should be proud of themselves. And there you go, the winning point for the first set. Derek Braun out of the middle. He stepped up, had a couple big hits late in that first set. And the Fanshawe Falcons prevailed 25-23 in our first set this morning.
Do you get the feeling that they set up that play in the timeout?
Well, Patrick Johnson called it for a reason, and it obviously worked. Now we're going to send you over to the sidelines where Sean Lippert has an important guest. Take it away, Sean.
Wow, what a game we got going. It just carries over from game to game. Fanshawe taking that game 25-23. Now the playoffs here are a tournament style, and when you're playing tournament, you got to play a lot of games in a short amount of time. Chris, tell us a little bit what's happened with Fanshawe because of this toll of this playoff style.
Well, it was the last point of the last game that Fanshawe played last night that their setter Daly rolled his ankle. So they've got a bit of adversity today. They moved their middle to the right side or to set, and they got their right side in the middle. So they managed to move things around, and it worked for them here. So I think they're rallying.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make lemonade sometimes. I mean, and Fanshawe's not the only team that's in this position. All the other teams are going to be in these same type of situations. But the key to this is they try to keep it quiet. They don't want the other team to know because they are strategizing. Some teams are setting themselves up for a certain style of play they expect the other team to come across, and then Fanshawe throws a wrench at them like this.
Yeah, Yeah, it's absolutely not. I don't think they expected that at all. And you know what? They did a good job, though, of staying with them point for point. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen here in the second set.
Mike Burkett there, he came off the sideline, who is a right side player, is now playing in the middle because they're trying to make it work. Johnson said to him, he goes, this is all I want you to do. And Pat Johnson being the coach, he said, every time the setter's in the one, all I want you to do is camp out to the left side just to make it easy for him, which is his position already.
Yeah, that was easy for him to do. No problem.
Gotta love volleyball. Having a blast here at the OCAA Volleyball Championships. You're seeing everything here at we-tv.ca. We're gonna take it back over to the sideline where we have Austin and Tavish calling the game.
Gotta love volleyball and gotta love your enthusiasm, Sean. Good to see you wide awake and bushy-tailed this morning.
I noticed he called you Austin.
I know.
Like Austin Powers.
And he called you McTavish, and he didn't put Mr. in front of either of them, did he?
Yes, yeah, we're quite a bit older than he is, too.
So, officials checking the lineups as we get ready to start the second set here this morning in this bronze medal semifinal match. And it looks like there's going to be a lineup change for the Falcons. I see number 2, Nate Van Camp out there. Normally plays right side for the Falcons. And it appears that's what he's going to be doing this morning. Nate's first appearance in the tournament. He played a lot this year for the Falcons, though he's no stranger. I know when he was here earlier, playing St. Clair earlier this year, he played a large role in that match.
I notice no difference between stats from that game and with regular season Josh Butler and Jeremy Fanton with the kills.
Derek Fanton, sorry Neil,
go
with
ahead.
the block to start the match. They went to the aforementioned Nate Van Camp, and his first hit is blocked. Continue on, Neil.
No, I just say Dimitri Cantos, 14 kills in that first game. Derek Braun was up there with 10 as well. Well played.
That ball is long. Kyle Weber over top of the block, but a touch is ruled by the officials. And we'll make that score 1-1.
Well, this will be nice for me because now the scoreboards are in sync with where the teams are.
Yeah. Josh Butler steps up to make that pass. Wow, some sloppy play at the net. Someone almost got hung up there. Middle attempt again by the Bruins is picked up. Nate Van Camp from the right side. The block is there, but he hits it hard enough to power it out of bounds off the block by number 10, Chris Adams.
Now, did Chris try and hit a smash there? Did he catch the underneath part of the ball on purpose to drop it short?
Well, Nate Van Camp was hit it into the block, but got enough wood on it that the Sheridan blockers couldn't control it. Poor serve ends up in the middle of the net. Josh Butler back to serve for the Sheridan Bruins, and he returns the favor.
We didn't see many of those in the first game. It was kind of nice.
No, but as a coach, I can live with Josh Butler's last effort. At least he was trying to serve hard, serve tough.
Yes.
It's those little soft floats that end up in the middle of the net that'll drive a coach crazy. Big hit. Jeremy Fanton seemed to appear out of nowhere. Big, long approach.
And that'll add to his statistics. That was a great hit.
He was player of the match yesterday for the Bruins in that 5-set marathon against the Durham Lords.
Yep, that'll be a touch.
Ball is out. And the two teams sort of feeling each other out at the start of this second set. 4 serving 3. Nate Van Camp, second-year player out of Port Perry, Ontario. Neil, I'm sure you've been up to Port Perry before.
I have been to Port Perry. Won't tell you what I was doing there, but yes.
Beautiful cottage country.
Yes, I've got a friend who spent a lot of time there. He just lives a little south of Port Perry. Nice lake.
5-3 Falcons. Fanton says that's enough of that, and it looks like he might be starting to warm up a bit, Neil.
Yeah, it was like pinball on the Fanshawe reception there. the ball came over very quickly.
Jeremy was a second-team All-Star this year in the Western Conference. And speaking of the Western Conference, it's certainly come to the forefront in this tournament and in the playoffs in general this year that all the power in OCAA men's volleyball was in the Western Conference this year.
Yeah, I was watching the broadcast. I wasn't in Windsor on Friday, and they were talking about how the West seemed to dominate this year, and they're showing it right now.
Well, in the 4 qualifying matches for this tournament, the West teams prevailed over the East in all of them. And in every match that took place in this tournament, the West team prevailed over the East team.
So we're going to have a hard time in this one with 2 West teams.
No, there's nothing but West teams left now. The East has been banished back down the 401 highway, so to speak. Sir Sanford Fleming College and Durham College were the 2 representatives from the East here at the OCAA finals, and they are both eliminated as of this moment. Fanshawe back to their workhorse, number 13, Dimitri Kansos, and we're all knotted up at 6 after a brief run by the Sheridan Bruins. Another thing that's come to the forefront in this tournament, Neil, and has been the fine play by the liberos on all the teams that are here. It's good to see the smaller statured players play a large role in this game, which is generally a bigger man's game. And in fact, last night in the semifinal match, the host St. Clair College Saints, their libero Josh Rankin was the player of the match, and deservedly so.
When you're on the court for a good part of the game and you're cruising the back line, they've really got to work. Given the speed in which the balls come over the net, liberos become a very important position.
Well, we have a couple fine liberos. Speaking one right there, making the set.
Yes, he did.
Great set by Christian Dela Cruz. That's legal as long as he's positioned behind the attack line, which he made sure carefully that he was. He's one of the fine liberos in this match, and the other is number 6, David Gundrum, first-year player out of Port Elgin, Ontario for the Fanshawe Falcons. So 2 first-year players playing the role of libero in this morning match.
I noticed Christian in the last game came up and made a couple plays and then made a couple very nice sets, as he did a couple plays ago.
Kyle Weber, the Fanshawe captain, with the hit off the block. Mark Mumer setting today, back to serve. Ricky Brard, the Sheridan setter, jousts at the net. And smart hit by Jeremy Fanton. You don't always have to try to put the ball through the floor, Neil.
That little joust at the net was, wondered who would win that one, pushing on each side.
Kyle Weber uses the block off the hands of number 10, Chris Adams of the Bruins. And we're tied at 9, and we've used that word tied a lot this morning already, Neil.
That's that tough hit again. If you're hitting that far and that hard, to put up a block that's going to put it back in play would be very difficult.
So hard to turn those hands inward. But to his credit, Chris Adams comes right back with the attack. He rattles it off the hands of Mike Burkett, the middle blocker for Fanshawe Falcons.
At this level, you don't have to worry about the previous play. It's forgotten right after it happens, and you get on and play the game.
Dimitri Kansos given a rest there by Coach Patrick Johnson. Kelly Farrell comes in to play the power position. There's Nate Van Camp starting to get comfortable over there on the right side. He beats that off the top of the block, and we're tied at 10-10. So Coach Patrick Johnson making a few adjustments this morning, as Sean alluded to in the interview with Coach Brecka earlier. Coaches have to make adjustments in this tournament as injuries occur. It's a long 3 days with a lot of volleyball, and even though these young men are in great shape, injuries do happen.
They do. Line violation there. down referee caught it.
Chris Adams serving for the Bruins. Nate Van Camp starting to warm up that left arm. That set might have been a little too low from Mark Mumer. Pipe shot attempt, but that doesn't even hit the top of the net.
4 hits.
Josh Butler tried to get a little too much over the top on that one. 11-11. Nate Van Camp serving, handled by Josh Butler. Ricky Brar with the set. Free ball given up by Mark Mumer. There's a more controlled hit from the back row by Josh Butler. Out to Kelly Farrell playing the left side this game. He played the right in the first game. Good pickup by David Gundrum. Tip from the back row. We got a long rally going here.
Josh Butler making some great plays back there. He's made 3 in a row.
Both of these teams playing really good defense here in this rally. And it's ended, as many of these long rallies are, by a violation at the net. Derek Braun over the middle line.
He came up a little gingerly.
Yep.
Nursing his ankle there.
Kind of a pained look on his face. And we're back into play. Number 12, Scott Wiseman serving for the Sheridan Bruins. Well, young David Gundrum just tried to go way too low to use the hands on that attempt.
He was on his knees, and he was less than a meter. His hands were less than a meter off the floor when he tried to pick that up.
So that's called a held ball. He handles that one much better. Well, I think the Bruins might have got away with 4 hits there. What do you think?
I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm thinking, he went, well, I guess we'll go to commercial. We're watching OCAA Volleyball on we-tv.ca.
Hi, I'm Joe Quenville, coach of the Chicago Blackhawks and a proud graduate of FJ Brennan High. I can remember fondly my 5 great years at Brennan. It seems like just yesterday that we're there. A lot of great life lessons that I learned along the way, particularly from my teachers in the Catholic program. I want to wish everybody there good luck, and look forward to being a proud graduate and being a proud Cardinal going on here in Chicago.
Sort of chuckling here on the side is Dave and I have a pretty good view of the net, and both of us having refereed in the past, and they might have missed a 4-hitter, but who are we to say, Dave? That's why we're sitting over here.
Yeah, we're not being paid the big bucks to be up there officiating, Neil. We have to keep that in mind. 14-11. The Bruins have put their noses out front in this second game, and this is a big second game for them because they lost the first game of this match by a close 25-23 score to the Fanshawe Falcons.
They seem to have a slight edge.
Well,
but only slight, as the score indicates.
Jeremy Fanton, their go-to guy, came out of the gate looking a lot better in this second set, and they rode him to an early boost. And there he is again, but he tries to hit that one just a little too hard, and it misses the sideline out.
Yeah. He tried to place that very nicely. He was right at the antenna there and tried to put it down the line, and linesman quick on his feet there, making the call, so slightly out of bounds.
Linesman Kevin Crowe showing a little bit of agility there in the sideline.
Not quite cat-like, Dave, but close.
Nate Van Camp out of the back row. Big hit. The overpass is converted by Kyle Weber, and Kyle is very slowly and very quietly starting to assert himself both defensively and offensively in this match.
And we got ourselves a tie game again.
Nice pass by the Bruins. Bobby Domi with the hit attempt is handled, and the Falcons convert. Out of the timeout, they score 4 quick points, and they're back in front 15-14, whereas the Bruins had held a 14-11 lead when Patrick Johnson called that timeout.
We might see a timeout in the opposite side if we don't. Well, we blows it out of bounds.
Again, Jeremy Fenton, I think, overhitting it just a bit. And Neil, you are a prophet.
I'm psychic, Dave.
The Sheridan Bruins called their first time out of this second set, trailing 16-14. Well, we're going to take a look at today's schedule of volleyball here on WE-TV. We're, of course, in the 9 o'clock match between Fanshawe and Sheridan. That'll be followed at 11 o'clock when Humber and Mohawk, 2 proud programs, go at it in the second bronze medal semifinal match. Then the winner of this match and the winner of that 11 o'clock match will tee it up again at 4 o'clock this afternoon for the bronze medal game. A quick turnaround, Neil. We're talking about that and the toll it takes on these players. Finally, at 6 o'clock, the marquee matchup of the tournament and the marquee matchup for this whole community, frankly. The gold medal game between the Niagara Knights and the hometown St. Clair Saints, who have assured themselves of their first medal ever in the history of the school in men's volleyball. So I'm sure they're looking forward to the attempt to make it a gold one.
That's very diplomatic, Dave.
Well, I won't apologize. We're here at St. Clair. We're local guys. We might be a little biased.
Just a little. I hope they enjoy it. No, I won't even say it.
And I have a feeling it'll be quite the scene here tonight, though.
Yes, it should
here
be
at the
chaotic.
complex again. We've had the two games played by St. Clair. The preceding 2 nights have been jam-packed. It's been a great atmosphere.
It'd be interesting in that bronze medal because both teams will have played early today, and that's where conditioning is going to come into play when we get to that game this afternoon. It'll be interesting. And you and I will be back together calling it, at least according to the current schedule.
Couldn't ask for a better partner, Neil. Thanks for making the long, snowy trek in from Kingsville this morning.
Yeah, my wife had to clean the car off.
Oh, that was so good of her.
She didn't get up early enough to start the snowblower.
Fanshawe on a bit of a run here. Have opened up a 2-point lead, 17-15. Some of you might be wondering why there's such a large gap between the morning matches and the afternoon matches. Kind of a scheduling issue for St. Clair, not of their control, but their women's basketball team has a 1 o'clock game today, a playoff game today against the Durham Lords. So that has to be fit in here at this beautiful complex in between the morning and afternoon volleyball matches. It's a busy, busy day here at St. Clair College.
And we don't do basketball, although
no,
we probably could. Shoot, he scores. Anyways, back to our game.
18-15. Derek Braun serving number 8 out of Ridgetown, Ontario for the Fanshawe Falcons. And it's danger time right now, and it's getting even more dangerous as we speak. Mike Burkett with a big block on Josh Butler. And suddenly the Bruins are down 4, and Coach Dave McAllister uses his second timeout. They need to keep things afloat here in this second set, Neil. You're watching OCAA Volleyball on we-tv.ca.
Bye.
Great. My car's blocked in.
I got this. I think the parking brake is on. Geez, what's in this thing? Rocks?
Hi, I'm Ed Jovanovski. Watch us on WeTV. We got you covered.
Well, the Sheridan Bruins are in tough right now, Neil. They've lost the first set of this morning match in the bronze medal semifinals. And despite having a 14-11 lead about no more than 5 minutes ago, Fanshawe Falcons have rattled off 8 points and now they own a 19-15 lead.
I thought Sheridan would be,
and that's not what you want to see coming out of a timeout, is it?
No, absolutely not. It was, we were thinking that Sheridan was playing a much stronger game, but they've, maybe it's just Fanshawe's really come on. Sheridan's made a few errors.
And it's always hard to tell when the fatigue or how the fatigue is going to kick in a long tournament like this. And that could be a factor for the Bruins right now. They had a 5-set marathon yesterday. Can't discount that factor as well. Well, they recover briefly. It's 2016.
You know, you have to think it's not just physically, but mentally as well. You know, you keep that level of focus and concentration through the whole time.
Well, especially here in this bracket now, Neil. I mean, let's face it, every one of these young men came here this weekend. They're hoping for gold. They're not hoping for bronze, they're hoping for gold. These teams are now relegated to playing for bronze, and
That's
sometimes
right.
It's really hard to pick yourself up emotionally and stay with the plan.
Yeah, you want to have that gold mentality the whole way through.
Mark Mueller with the set, Nate Van Camp with the back row attack out of the right side, and it's long and wide. Timeout Fanshawe.
Could see that coming.
The coaches have used all their timeouts now, Neil.
If they get into a close game, they won't have any.
It's 20-18. It's somewhat rare to see coaches use all of their timeouts before this point in the game, isn't it?
Well, I think they're looking at the importance of this game. I think that Fanshawe has to see it as a chance to take a commanding lead, and if they can win it and only have to play 3 games, it gives them as much of an advantage as you can get for playing later on this afternoon. Instead of playing, if you go a 5-game set, they're going to be exhausted. So I think they want to win it in 3 and not let it go to more than that. Where on the other hand, you don't want to lose.
Yep, that's such a great point. If you're going to win this morning, you want to do it quickly, because you're turning around and playing again at 4 o'clock this afternoon, after having played Friday and after having played yesterday already. So
reaching down deep,
and sometimes reaching deep down the bench as well.
If
and
they can afford to.
It looks so far like Fanshawe has been able to reach just a little bit deeper than Sheridan has.
Well, we'll see how that timeout plays out here.
Justin Kong back to serve for the Bruins. Nice pass, and Mark Mueller with a well-timed dump on 2. That young man has played very, very well as a replacement setter for Jack Daly today.
With his height, it was such a smart play. I mean, he could easily have set it. Instead, he flicks it back over short, and they weren't ready for that.
The regular setter for the Fanshawe Falcons, Jack Daly, Rookie of the Year this year in the Western Conference. Unfortunately, rolled his ankle in the last sequence last night in the championship semifinal game against the Knights. So Mr. Mueller, the 6'1" London, Ontario native, has been called on today to move from his normal middle position to center, and he's handled it very well. Nice set. Mike Burkett off the block. And it's 22-19 Falcons, and all they're thinking now is side out, side out, side out.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mike Burkett, he's really impressed us this morning. He's been there for some nice hits. What's our little controversy right now here, Dave?
A little discussion between Coach Patrick Donaldson and the down official over that last substitution. Exchanging pleasantries. Not.
Yeah, I'm seeing some head shaking going on here.
We'll try to find out what that was about. Nice pass again by Kyle Weber. Great set by Mark Mueller. Nate Van Camp off the block. There's Josh Butler. And that was a more controlled hit. That's a great example of how, if you're thinking in your head, I only need to swing 75%, that's often the more effective hit, isn't it, Neil?
Well, and I had seen him come up from the back row earlier, basically take off behind the attack line and almost end up crossing the center line. So he did take a lot off that, and it was very effective.
Well, here we go. That hit is out by Mike Burkett, and suddenly it's a one-point game again. The Bruins not taking it lying down. Hard topspin serve from Josh Butler, but Marquette gets another opportunity. And you know what a great choice there by setter Mumer. He went right back to the guy who made the mistake, and probably he was the only person in the gym that expected it.
Absolutely. You want the, when you make a mistake, you want the ball back. You know you've done it.
And there's an unfortunate double contact by Josh Butler at a critical point in the game. 24-21, suddenly set point for the Falcons. Looking to repeat as bronze medalists. That's our goal now, after losing their semifinal match last night to the Niagara Knights. Good pickup by Mark Mumer.
Free ball.
And a big block. Derek Braun and Nate Van Camp. Camp right on that block. And 25-21 is the final score of our second set this morning. The Fanshawe Falcons take a 2-0 lead in this match.
Just when we thought that the Bruins were going to perhaps dominate this game, and what were they leading, 14-11 there early on?
They were.
And
now we're going to send it over, Neil, for an interview on the sidelines. Here's Sean Lippert.
Thanks, guys. We're down here at the sideline. Steve, I'm watching these teams, and I'm watching how animated these coaches are. But the one thing I'm watching from Sheridan, the difference between the two teams is Sheridan seems to be, grasping more than, say, what Pat Johnson's doing over there. Have you been seeing the same thing?
Well, we saw Coach Dave McAllister pull out his middle blocker, Bobby Domi, and just say, you need to play where you're supposed to be. He's missing closing on the middle blocks, and it's really affected their ability to defend against the Falcons' attack.
Now, do you think it's because they had a game plan set up for one thing, and then all of a sudden Fanshawe just kind of shakes it up and throws it on the table, and it's totally different?
Well, we were expecting Daly to set for the Falcons, and it just didn't work out that way. He sprained his ankle, and it was a hidden injury that they kept from us until the first point here. Now we see Mark Mumer coming in, a middle hitter, getting the job done. He's done a great job spreading the ball, and he's really focused up the middle, running Braun, and he's just been dominant.
Now, I had the privilege of coaching Mark Mumer at the Region 3 NTCCCs, and he exactly why I loved him as a player is that he's so versatile. He can do everything. I mean, the kid is a middle, and now he's got hands. I mean, as being a volleyball guy and you playing volleyball for many years, that's unheard of to have a middle blocker be able to have nice hands like that.
Well, you can see the way the teams are playing it now. If the setter takes the first ball, instead of passing it to the middle of the set, most teams are throwing it back to the libero because we found out middles can't set. This is just not the case for Fanshawe. They've got a middle that can set the ball, and he's done a fantastic job.
And fantastic job being Mike Burkett, who is on that right side, who's playing middle, and we just saw him. He's scoring left and right here.
He was a spark for Fanshawe off the bench. We were really seeing him come in, getting some big points in the late 20s. And, at this time, he's just pounding the ball out of the middle, being consistent. We'd like to see a bigger block out of him. But for a guy who's been thrown into it, 9 a.m. game on a Sunday morning, what a job.
We're having amazing volleyball here on we-tv.ca. We're going to throw it back over to the table.
All right, thanks, guys. Very astute analysis there, Neil.
And they both look really good too. I think that's why they brought them in.
Sean, he's got the St. Clair colors on certainly today. There's no mistaking where his allegiances are.
Yeah, maybe he's got a sweatshirt on underneath. Anyways, looking at the kills, Jeremy Fanton, he just continues to dominate.
10
Josh
kills,
Butler.
but look at all the attempts he has, Neil.
Oh, yes,
I think I'm trying to count now. He's at 37 attempts already at attacks. So that shoulder going to need some more ice after this match.
Well, and if I'm defending, I'm watching him the whole time, putting up double blocks against him.
No secret where the Bruins want their offense to flow through, is there?
No.
Mark Mumer. Little low set there by Ricky Brar. Mumer with the set. Back to Nate Van Camp. Jeremy Fanton out of the middle, pipe shot. Out here to Kyle Weber. Great dig by the libero Christian Dela Cruz. Nate Van Camp. And unable to convert that pass by Jeremy Fanton. Falcons 1, Bruins, nothing. Do or die time for the Sheridan Bruins.
Sheridan having to defend against a left-hander hitting out of the right side, which is works out to be his power.
Again, the power of the 75, I call it. 75% hit. Of course, us older players like you and I, that's all we can hit anymore, 75%, maybe even lower.
Speak for yourself. I like to be a 95%er, Dave.
Well, in our minds, maybe, Neil. But that's a good place. I'm glad we still think that way. Big hit by Nate Van Camp, and that can't be handled again by Jeremy Fanton. Nate Van Camp has come in the second set here for the Falcons and played very, very well on the right side for them.
That's that lefty power.
Well, and again, this is a demonstration as you get deeper and deeper into this tournament. Coach Patrick Johnson's done a great job. He's gone to his bench, he's utilized it, and they've responded.
There was a miss on that hit. Pancake. Love the pancake.
Great dig by David Gundrum, the diminutive little diminutive little libero player for the Fanshawe Falcons. Got his hand underneath that ball.
Fanshawe's point.
David Gundrum out of Port Elgin, Ontario, his first year.
Lovely beach community.
On Lake Huron, if I have my geography correct.
Yes. South of Kincardine. No, north of Kincardine.
Josh Butler.
South of Southampton.
A little geography lesson from our color analyst there.
Right on Highway 21. I'm sure they have lots of snow.
Yes, generally do at this time of year, don't they? That set's a little tight, but it's fixed by the power hitter, Dimitri Kansos, with a long tip to the very corner of the court. Smart play. He did whatever he could with that. Tight set that caught him by surprise.
I always like it when I see these young players use their brains. They're taking a look, they see what's open, and they go for it.
Well, speaking of brains, Neil, we were talking yesterday, the interviews we've been doing with a lot of these young athletes, we've been so impressed with their demeanor, their intelligence, their ability to speak. Bodes well. We always forget, these are student athletes, students first.
That's right.
Well, we'll send it to commercial now. This is we-tv.ca.
Aboriginal youth have a desire to create, learn, grow.
No computer, no future.
One laptop, one child at a time, one simple gesture.
Give a kid a chance.
Let's help give them the tools to succeed.
Let's buy a child a laptop.
Do yourself a favor, go online, check it out.
I got a laptop!
Find out how you can help. Visit the website today.
Hi, I'm Ed Jovanovski. Watch us on WeTV. We got you covered.
Well, just checking out that Sheridan huddle, Neil, there's a lot of long faces there on the bench right now, and you just wonder if they can pick themselves up emotionally and get themselves back into this match.
The down 3 very early in the match, I'm sure they can bring it back, but well, they're also down 2 games.
Down 2 games, down 3 points in this critical third set. Mike Burkett, number 17, serving for the Falcons. As expected, Sheridan goes right to their money player, but it's blocked by the Falcons, and kind of a half-hearted dig attempt there by Josh Butler. And I get a very sneaking suspicion here that the Sheridan Bruins look like they're running out of gas a bit.
Yes, you've usually seen more from Josh than that, but
the first thing that generally shows up on is defense, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't take that extra half step. You reach for the ball, not getting underneath it quickly enough.
Touch call on that hit by Jeremy Fanton. 6'3", number 10, Chris Adams out of Caledon, Ontario, back to serve.
Caledon, way up there at the top of the hill, is after you leave Toronto. You look back and you can see Toronto.
Well, all the signs of perhaps mental fatigue showing now with the Bruins. They're missing serves. They're not playing defense as well. Their hits are going long. I hope we're wrong. I hope the Bruins can recover, but there's another long hit, missed wide by Bobby Domi. And 8-3.
He didn't get on top of that ball.
Nope. 8-3 now, Falcons. And
it's my magic 5 points, Dave. 5 points. That's a big. That's a
even,
magic number.
Yeah, and even this early in the set, isn't it, Neil?
Yes.
Well, just as we're beginning to write them off.
Oh no.
Jeremy Fenton with the block on Mark Mumer. And number 14 for the Bruins, Derek Fenton, his younger brother, go back to serve. One brother right-handed, one brother left-handed. Don't see that too often.
Makes it easier to eat at the kitchen table.
Yes, good point. As always, you're on top of the analysis, Neil. Bruins pick up another quick point. They trail 5, serving 8. Few people have finished their breakfast here in Windsor this morning, Neil, and starting to make their way here to the St. Clair College complex.
Early church services.
9-5. Dimitri Kansos has had a fine tournament so far, back to serve. That hard top spin serve is handled by Jeremy Fenton, but poor choice there by the setter, Ricky Brar. The save attempt by Josh Butler, he has a line violation. And the work that the Bruins did to get back within 3 goes for naught now. They're again trailing by 5. The block attempt is out. Kyle Weber wanted that one that just missed the sideline. He smiles wryly as he heads back to his defensive position.
And Josh Butler likes that play where he comes off the right side, hits it on a sharp angle, hopes that they can't get the blocks up to direct it back into play.
Great pass by David Gundrum, the libero for the Falcons. Mark Mumer, there's the value of a big, tall setter. Kept alive by the Falcons. Oh, Bobby Domi gives it right back to them, and that's costly.
11-6.
Hate to say it, some of the Bruins look like they've lost a little bit of interest here. Temporarily, we hope.
Temporarily.
Derek Braun with the serve. The passing is just not responding right now for the Bruins.
Oh, that was a bad choice.
Well, I think he read a touch on the block, and I think he was correct there, Neil. I kind of saw that ball jump off the hands of the blockers, so I don't think Christian Dela Cruz had any choice but to make an attempt.
Yeah, I didn't pick up the block there.
We're watching OCAA Volleyball on we-tv.ca.
The first kiss. She's thinking about a million things, like should I lean in or let him? Do I close my eyes or open them? But for him, he's only thinking about one thing. Did she have peanut butter for lunch?
Well, Neil, timeout again by the Sheridan Bruins. Dave McAllister, their coach, has used his second timeout already early in this match. They're down 2-0. They're now down 12-6. And I think he sensed there's a little bit of disinterest among his players, and he wanted to try to see if he could pick up that enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think the interest is there. I'm looking more at the focus. It's just so hard to maintain that, especially if you're thinking any more than the next point ahead, which I think these young gentlemen probably do.
Well, they should be, but it was telling how they both came out of their huddles from the timeout. The Bruins players all kind of heads hanging.
Yes,
and the
they did.
Fanshawe Falcon players ran out back onto the court, a lot of energy, bounded
saw
back
that.
out there, and you noticed it as well, and they quickly pick up another point. And this is what you want to do in the game of volleyball. If you sense your opponent is down, you want to make a run on them.
You don't want to let them get back into the game and change the momentum. Important to keep the pressure. Keep the hammer down, Dave.
Yep, Jeremy Fant with the back row attack scores for the Bruins, and into serve, Justin Kong, number 9 out of Burlington, Ontario, second-year player, 5'10", and 5'10", maybe even exaggerating it a bit, Neil. Nate Van Camp has played very well out of the right side since being inserted into the lineup in the second set. Mark Mueller. Got to compliment Coach Patrick Johnson of the Falcons the way he's used his bench in this match this morning, Neil.
It's going to save them down the road. Looked like a great hit, but out again.
Long.
8-point difference.
Yep, the 3 telltale signs of a team that's losing focus: poor passing, poor serving, and long hits. That's all, unfortunately, has happened to the Bruins in the last few sequences. Josh Butler tries to reverse the tide and tries to pick up the energy level of his teammates after that big hit. 8 serving 15 as the setter for the Bruins. Ricky Brar heads back to the serve line.
Yeah, Josh still has some in the tank. That was a nice hit.
Serve. Miss serve.
Out of bounds.
They're making us look like prophets now. Which is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, when we forget what happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Kyle Weber with the short pop serve, handled by Christian Dela Cruz, and smart hit there by Josh Butler. He's showing a little bit of energy now, and he didn't try to overhit that ball, Neil.
They all fell off the net waiting to pick up the spike, and Josh just rolled it barely over the net, and it dropped in front of them.
Out of the middle, Mike Burkett, that's dug up by Ricky Brar, the setter, and sometimes just a small defensive play like that can really help you pick up the momentum. And look at, all of a sudden, the Bruins are playing defense. Touch on the block, and there you go. Suddenly, the energy level picks up.
Yeah, I thought that Nate Van Camp had buried that one, and they weren't going to pick it up, but they got it just before it hit the
Ricky
floor.
Brar with a great dig, and like I said, those little things sometimes can, but he can't get that one, unfortunately. But temporarily, the energy level really picked up on the Bruins, and that's the level they're going to have to play at if they're going to get back into this match.
Substitution here.
Almost missed that substitution coming in late. Ryan Daly coming in for Mike Burkett to serve.
I would guess a defensive move in the back row there.
No doubt, and also I noticed in the previous set, this young man has a tough serve. He had the Bruins on their heels.
Oh, floats it out of bounds.
Of course we jinx them.
Way to go, Dave.
Bobby Domi reports back in the front row for Justin Kong.
Poor Ryan wasn't happy about that.
No, and he was put in for one purpose and one purpose only, and he didn't do the job. Good pass there off a tough serve, but Derek Braun can't convert the set. In his defense, it was a little bit low. Kyle Weber passing very well in the back row, as he always does for the Fanshawe Falcons. Well, that one's mishandled a bit. Nate Van Camp, smart hit.
Yeah, if you just keep siding them out, you get to the promised land.
Well, that's where we're at right now, aren't we, Neil? Because it's 18-12. Fanshawe. They own a 2-set lead. They've got the Bruins on the ropes.
And a 6-point lead. 7.
And now just made it 7 despite a fine defensive effort by Josh Butler, but that ball was well placed by the Falcons. 19 serving 12. Nate Van Camp out of Port Perry, Ontario, back to serve. Josh Butler handles it. The set over to the bread and butter man, Jeremy Fanton. It's blocked by the Falcons. Free ball given up to the middle, which is exactly what you should do. Great choice again by the setter, Mark Mumer. And Derek Braun converts 20-12, and it's desperation time now for the Bruins.
Well, he was hoping to do something with that free ball and couldn't get it in.
Touch on the hit. Another point for the Falcons. And you can sort of hear the air coming out of the Sheridan balloon, can't you?
I think I hear a song somewhere.
Yep.
Some lady singing.
That was a wonderful rendition of O Canada this morning. Speaking of some young lady singing, Jade McLeod did a great job.
Double block.
Nothing in it for the Bruins, and it's now 22-12, Fanshawe. And Patrick Johnson, coach of the Falcons, looks like he's emptying his bench now. Number 7 reports in. That is Grant Ward, 6'3" player out of London, Ontario, reports in for Kyle Weber, the captain of the Falcons. Coach Johnson, again, always thinking ahead. He's thinking now, that's out.
Out of bounds.
He's thinking, we're in the bronze medal match of 4. Let's give the boys a little bit extra rest.
Save the legs.
Nate Van Camp. That ball is out, off the block. Number 12 reports in. That's Scott Wiseman, the serve for the Bruins, trailing by 10. Tough serve. Mumer with the dump attempt. Nice set to Derek Braun.
Mumer has done a beautiful
Joust to the
job.
net. Good net play by the Falcons. Free ball given up. That is blocked again. Mark Mumer and Derek Braun forming a big block, and they have, for the most part, neutralized the big weapon for the Bruins in this match, Jeremy Fanton.
Yeah, Fanshawe has been the bigger team, definitely. The blocks, double blocks all the time. Triple block right there.
There it is.
There's the
a
game.
little frustration on Jeremy Fanton's part as he's blocked once again, and that was really the story at the end of that match. 25-13 Fanshawe, and they quickly dispatch the Sheridan Bruins in this bronze medal semifinal this morning.
And they'll be on their way to the bronze medal this afternoon at 4 o'clock here at the complex.
And you're right, and the Falcons got to be very happy about how quickly this match went. They got a little bit more recovery time now, especially considering that there's another bronze medal semifinal match following this one. These Fanshawe Falcons can now sit and watch, do a little scouting, have a little bit extra time to rest, while their possible opponents, either the Mohawk Mountaineers or the Humber Hawks, fight it out to play them.
Yeah, they'll be able to have lunch, let it digest, little rest, put your feet up, maybe a shower, and be ready for the game this afternoon. I think they're in the driver's seat.
Well, we're going to send it over now to Sean Lippert. Thanks again, Neil, this morning for your color commentary. Take it away, Sean.
What an amazing game we had here. First thing at 9 o'clock in the morning, we had Fanshawe taking care of Sheridan. Sheridan's done for the tournament. Fanshawe's moving on. They're going to be in the bronze medal game. What do you think of that game?
Well, Fanshawe came out and did the job. We were talking earlier about the adversity they faced, and they stepped it up. I think in that third set there, Sheridan they just shut down.
Yeah, well, to carry on what we were talking about earlier, sometimes you get lemons and you got to have lemonade from it. Fanshawe's setter rolled his ankle on the last point of the last game last night. So could you imagine the coach sitting there? You're a coach, but you're laying in bed, you're just sitting there and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah, well, you know what, I think his choice of putting Mark Mumer in there, it's Mike, sorry, Mark Mumer. He definitely has some setting experience, you can tell, so it's probably not completely new position for him, but he did very well at balancing his offense and using his key hitters, so.
All you middles out there watching this game, there is hope for you. Mark Mumer just made it for you because he does have hands. Speaking of Mark Mumer, he's going to be the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board Player of the Game. And we got Gomer over on the sideline to talk to him. Go ahead, Steve. Oh, he's not ready yet. He's not in there? Oh, unfortunately, we got to wait for him because they're announcing their players of the game. So let's talk a little bit more about Mark then. I mean, he comes in. Can you imagine him? I'd like to know when he was told he was going to be the setter.
Well, you know what, he strikes me as one of those athletes that understands the game. You could probably put him in any position and he would know what he's doing.
Now, I have to guess that when they were putting this whole plan together, Sheridan, on the opposite end of this, was thinking about, we have to plan for Mark running out of the middle and that substitution when Mike Burkett was coming in on the right side when they were stacking for that block. Then all of a sudden, they see Mark Mumer on the floor, and they don't even know what position he's going to be in.
Yeah, I'm sure they were a bit rattled. Their game plan had to be altered a little bit. They held their own, though, in the first two games, so I think, they just lost that momentum in that third set.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about this tournament. Let's see how things, happen seeding-wise. Like right now, the next game coming up is going to be Mohawk in Humber, and on any given day, that's going to be a premium game in the regular season.
Absolutely, that's exciting. It's going to be a rough one, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be a battle. You know what? We're ready for Gomer. Gomer's got Mark over on the sideline. Go ahead, Steve.
I'm here with player of the game, Mark Mumer from the Fanshawe Falcons. Surprise setter today. When did you find out you'd be going from middle to setter?
It's 6 o'clock this morning at breakfast, so no surprise. Our other setter hurt his foot, so I had to step in.
I know this isn't a position that is unfamiliar to you, having played it in the past. You must have drawn upon some skills from your past being a setter in the Region 3 program and also in your high school days.
Yeah, I was kind of been playing middle, playing a little bit of setter, so wherever the coach needs me, that's where I'll play.
Well, you did a fantastic job today. How did you feel at 6 a.m. when you found out you were playing a totally different position?
Yeah, I had to warm up my hands, have some coffee, make sure I was ready and excited for the game.
Well, you also brought a really large block on the right side there, really shut down the Sheridan attackers. Just a fantastic job by you. What were you seeing across the net, and how did you get the job done today?
Well, the two best players are on the outside, and so we want to have a big block on them at all times, and I think we achieved that today. Whether I was back row, we still had a great block. It was great.
Mark, thanks a lot. Best of luck in the bronze medal game later today. Yeah. You're watching WeTV, OCAA Volleyball. Back to you, Sean.
Thanks, Gomer. Mark Mumer, he's going to be the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board Player of the Game. I mean, the kid's versatile. He can do everything. He's been the go-to player for the Fanshawe Falcons, and they take care of Sheridan. Sheridan's done for the tournament. They're going to be going on to the bronze medal game, which will be held later today. But our next match going to be coming up here is going to be Humber and Mohawk. Another amazing game. Like I said earlier to Chris, that game there, that could have very well been a gold medal game.
Absolutely. I think Mohawk came in here. I mean, they were the #1 seed, so everyone's thinking, yeah, Mohawk's going to do it. And certainly not an easy road, but still, they were the favorite.
It's like a great book. You got the #1 seed, and then you got the national player of Tyrell Bramwell.
Yeah.
He's arguably probably the best player in this tournament.
Yeah, well, and they were shut down yesterday.
Yes, they did by, the St. Clair Saints. But we're not going to be homers here because we're here for the OCAA. But can't help to wear our home colors. We are in Windsor, Ontario. You know what? Stick around, grab another coffee because we're going to be up next with our next game. It's going to be a good one. Humber and Mohawk right here in Windsor at St. Clair College.